Hi everybody, this video is just to talk about how to avoid triggers and how to identify them. If you are new to recovery and you are not in a treatment program and haven't heard this before, you are going to have triggers that are going to cause you to want to use. So, you don't want to use. That's the last thing you want to do. And you're going to go through feelings, nostalgia that's going to cause you to feel like you want to get high. Some people, summer rolls around and they feel like drinking, they feel like smoking, they feel like getting high, and you have to find ways to get past that. So if that means finding a hobby that you really like and doing that, do it. Don't go around people or places that you used to go around when you were getting high. And this is something that, I'm a hypocrite because I have before, but it really didn't help me to do it. If you are around somebody that you used with, my biggest advice is if you can cut them out until they at least get better or get recovery. Also, just the fact that you used to use with them might trigger you to use with them again. So even if they get clean, just, use your own discretion, be careful. You do not want to go back to that life because you could pass away. And I say this very, 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 I say it very strongly because it's true. I've lost 30 people in the last 2 years. It kills, it really does. We're in an epidemic and you have to find your triggers and deal with them. Some people were triggered by watching Intervention and watching people talk about drug use. I talk about it all the time. So if you feel triggered by watching a video that I post talking about my past, don't watch it, turn it off, and watch something else. Sometimes expressing yourself, like writing, keep a journal, talk about your feelings, go to a meeting, meet some people, talk about your feelings, call somebody, get a sponsor and talk to them because they're going to tell you the truth about yourself and it's going to hurt at first, but sometimes just to agree, shake your head, and really think about it is important. A lot of people use the steps to get better, so if you feel like working the steps in the program of AA or NA is good for you, try it. There's many different ways for you to get better, and if you need a meeting list in this area, look up Chautauqua County AA meeting list or Chautauqua County NA meeting list, and there should be a couple around here. I know there's some in Jamestown, Dunkirk, 1 or 2 in Westfield, Brockton. There's many different places, and if you feel like you're in a different area like Erie or Buffalo, I know for a fact there's many out there as well. So if you don't have a list, you can go online, you can print the list out, and if you feel triggered, go to a meeting. Honestly, you should go weekly, especially if you're a newcomer, 90 days, every day for 90 days, and I'm not kidding, it could save your life. Some people, they decide they don't want to go anymore, that's on you. But this is your life, and you have to decide what's best for you. And you have to really talk to people and brainstorm and listen to suggestions, because a lot of people, when they're new to recovery, they're used to only listening to themselves and only trusting themselves. And the truth is, your thinking got you where you were, got you in that bad place. So the best thing I can tell you is take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for the positions you put yourself in. Even if they weren't all your fault, you probably had a part in it. Take responsibility, let your resentments go, start making a list of all the people that you feel like you have one with and just kind of get rid of it. And that's a part of the steps that you will have a sponsor to guide you through. Don't necessarily do that on your own until you're ready with a sponsor, because if you do it on your own, you could be opening up doors you're not ready to open up and cause a relapse. People relapse from emotions. So, go to counseling. I suggest getting a regular counselor on top of a substance abuse counselor, because you do want a counselor that you can talk to about your relationship, that you can talk to about your lifestyle outside of using, because now when you're clean, you don't want to start doing other things and avoiding the other problems in your life. Because the main thing that I figured out, my triggers were not things like looking at drugs. My triggers were feelings. They were all internal triggers. So my triggers were usually relationships. I would get in a bad relationship, something bad would happen, and I would use in order to get back at them, but I was really only hurting myself, and this happened a lot. And I have codependency. So like I always have to be in a relationship. I always have to be around people. I can't live alone. I have terrible codependency. I have anxiety. I have depression. I have PTSD. I've been domestically abused. I've been abused in many different ways. I'm just saying that with that being said, my triggers are on the inside. But I am now a nurse. I am a recovery advocate. I'm a public speaker. I talk to kids. I work with kids escaping drugs. I do a lot of different things. I now have an organization called Breaking Chains that is setting off. So I'm just saying, if you feel like you want to get to a better place, you need to avoid your triggers. And listen, if you do relapse, it happens all the time. Get your ass back in a meeting. Get your ass on the phone with somebody that can help you, because that is the best way for you to survive that relapse. And if you get back in the program, you get back into your recovery, and you keep moving on and you go forward, you don't have to make a big deal out of it, because if you make yourself guilty about it, you will go down. I'm just telling you, that guilt and that shame can eat you alive, and that's just the disease of addiction talking. That's the devil talking. That's negativity talking, and you don't need that, because you are fucking perfect the way you are. Sorry for swearing. But as perfect as you are and as beautiful as you are, the last thing that I want to see is you pass away because you relapsed and were too scared to come back. Because if you survive that relapse, you might not survive the next one. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. If you're listening, it's probably for a reason. And if you have a story to tell me and you want to go live or you want me to film you, I will travel as well. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I do appreciate every single one of you. I know that my fan base isn't huge right now, but one day it will be. And I know I'm tired, I'm overworked, but I want more people to join my team. I have a couple people who are going to work on analyzing the brain and how it works and everything else. Thank you so much. Meditate. Love and light and everything that is beautiful can come your way if you try. You can do it. I promise.